My mechanic gave me options. He said, look, this is what you do. You either put a new engine in it, he said, or you get a reconditioned engine. He said, or simply you just get rid of the problem and sell the car as is.
You decided to sell the car?
Yeah.
How much for?
In the end, I sold it for £10,000, which was a big loss.
It was a £10,000 depreciation.
Yeah.
In roughly 18 months or so.
Yeah.
Now, cars can depreciate at that sum, but it is bigger than normal, to say the very least. Who did you sell it to?
I sold it privately, and the people who were actually buying it were going to use it for banger racing.
For what, banger racing?
Banger racing.
That must have been upsetting, actually.
Yeah.
Now, the actual cost of repair that you were given was in excess of how much, do you know?
To have a reconditioning engine was £7,200. And the reason I didn't go ahead with it, because I wasn't adding any value to the car.
And in fact, if you looked at the depreciated value,
that's it.
You probably would have done better selling it for 10,000, which is what you chose to do.
Yeah.
I've no difficulty coming to the conclusion that you took the correct practical and economic view. There wasn't much in it, but I think you did the right thing. Now, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Because you have, in effect, lost potentially £6,000 to £7,000.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, cars break down, engines blow. Yes, could just be called bad luck.
Not my car.
Could just happen. And it's especially challenging because you were perplexed because it seems to me that you were categorically told that this would be unlikely without there being a warning.
Yeah.
So you put it to one side, don't think much about it. 2 weeks ago, driving around in your stolen shoes and your stolen scarf, in a pair of clean trainers that Jackie's wearing, no doubt nicked from your cupboard.
Yeah.
Some point, Jackie discloses something to you, does she not?
Yeah.
Jackie, what did you tell Lisa?
I didn't actually just go to the shop in her car.
No, she'd been flooring my car down the M25. So.
While she was on holiday, I was working in the city at the time, and I used to drive her car to my work.
How far is that?
Well, it's about 20 miles from home into the City of London.
Now, in the past, you'd had permission to drive that vehicle, so really, it's not like stealing clothes. You'd actually done nothing especially wrong.
No.
When you drove the vehicle on, let's call it the Monday, or the first day into the city, did you notice anything odd about the car?
Yes, many warning lights.
What did the warning lights show?
Well, it just kept flashing, and I didn't really know what they meant because, I mean, it wasn't my car.
You saw the dashboard flashing?
Yes.
Well, what did you think? That perhaps the car had turned into a disco?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I don't think you did. Lisa, is this news to you, by the way?
Well, yeah.
You saw the lights flashing.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, did you take the car home, put it on the drive, and immediately alert somebody that might know what to do?
No.
Why not?
Because I wanted to drive the car, you know, going down the motorway. It was kind of a head turner. You know, as I say, I don't really like the red interior of the vehicle, but I still wanted to drive it.
Day two?
Yeah.
Were the lights still on?
Yes.
20 miles there, 20 miles back?
That's it.
Any problems?
Well, you know, the lights were flashing and they were beeping as well.
Understood. It's like being at an underground rave. At that point, did you think, I won't drive the car anymore, I will alert somebody who knows what they're doing in case there's a problem?
No.
Day three?
Well, day three was going to be the hottest day of the year, so obviously I wanted to drive the car and have the roof down and
Obviously!
have the wind in my hair.
What did you do?
Drove the car again.
Flashing, flashing?
Well, it seemed the noise was getting a little bit louder by this time.
What noise?
The beeping. It was... the previous days, it was more of a beep, beep. But as the days seemed to go on, it was more of a beep.
Yeah, because they were all flashing.
Yeah.
It's like the end of life support, madam.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Well, day 3. As the beeping becomes slightly more alarming, so to speak, did you think, I better not drive the vehicle? I will then alert somebody who knows what they're doing.
No, no,
Let's call that Wednesday.
yeah.
What happened on Thursday?
Well, I went to take the car again, and I must have only have driven maybe 2 or 3 miles, and then it just stopped.
So, what did you do?
I tried the ignition and nothing would happen, but obviously I was on my way to work, so then I just left the car and went to work, and then I came home. That's when I called a friend and we managed to put the car back on the drive, and then I went home and went about my business.
I'm not laughing.
I mean,
Yeah. Now, I presume the following day, realising that the car had broken down and it could have been serious, that you went back to have the vehicle inspected.
no.
Somebody must have looked at it. Did anybody give you an indication as to what had happened?
Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine who brought the car back with me, he said what's happened. I told him, and he made it clear that at that point that I could have done quite some damage to the engine. And he said, how long have these lights been going on for? And I said, for the last 4 days. And he nearly fell backwards when I told him. And he said, well, and you didn't do nothing about it? And I said, well, no, it's not my car.
Did he say you ought to tell your sister?
Yes, he did. And I said, no way. No, I'm not going to tell my sister on this one, no way.
Now, being serious about it, Lisa.
Yeah.
How do you feel about hearing that today?
Well, it's like a knife going through my back, really, because she knew what the car meant to me. She knew how long I'd saved to get that car. And, yes, cars are a passion of mine. And, ultimately, we're sisters. And, yes, I would have been mental. I would have gone ballistic. But, it's...
You would have made me pay for it.
I would, yeah, you're right.
Yes, she would have made you pay for
Yes.
it! Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.